You just showed me that you don't read the Bible that you actually believe in. Because if you read the Bible that you actually believed in, then you would not have made this statement, especially the last part. So the first thing you're saying is, and for those who don't know, in this saga of 3 videos, this is now the third, about Judges 11, where Jephthah sacrifices his daughter because she is the first thing to come out the door, because he made a promise to this God that if you deliver the Ammonites into my hand, I will sacrifice as a burnt offering the first thing that comes out my door. So you're right. She was not asked to be a sacrifice. She didn't ask for that. Her father made the promise. Her father made the decree. And then she said, oh, well, you got to do whatever God told you to do. This just shows again how women are treated in this Bible. But the part that really kind of demonstrates that you've never read this book is the fact that you say also Jephthah was punished for doing so. Tell me you've never read chapter 12 without telling me you've never read chapter 12. Well, I want you to go and read chapter 12. Because in chapter 12, it says that it talks about the fact that Jephthah then goes and he fight the Emporites or some Ephraimites, some of the ites, start with an E. He goes and fights them. But in his fight with them, he defeats them. And then they try to cross over. And when they try to cross over this land area, they have to say the name Shibboleth, and they don't say Shibboleth, they say Siboleth. And because they say the name wrong, Jephthah and them end the rest of their lives. And then it says that Jephthah lives as a king over his people for many, many years, and then he just dies. So he lived a kingly life without being punishment and went on to actually defeat some more people before he died of regular old dying. No punishment, none of that sort of thing. You see how you are just demonstrating that you truly have not read your book. The fact that you would suggest that he is punished because in your mind, you want to say that God doesn't like human sacrifices. And if somebody did something like that, then they would have to have been punished. The same way your God punished a man who kept some of the gold for himself when they so-called defeated Jericho, and that man had to be punished. The same way that Miriam, when she had something negative to say about Moses' wife, she got a little leprosy. The same way that the man who had some other stuff to say about Moses and them, his whole family got swallowed up. And the servants and the children, everybody got swallowed up. They all got swallowed up by the earth. So you will see clearly where your God punishes people for these lesser crimes against humanity. But when it comes to this human sacrifice, you don't want your God to say, yeah, I'm going to kill you because you're wearing mixed linen. But that human sacrifice promise that you made me, I'm going to take that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to consume that, let it burn. Because, this God likes his savory meats. So any other time that your God punishes people, you're fine with it. But in this instance, you need your God to punish this man for what he did, but he didn't. Because your God is culpable. In order to punish Jephthah, he would have to punish himself because he accepted the bribe. He accepted the promise. He accepted the human sacrifices by delivering the victory to Jephthah over the Ammonites. And it just bothers you and hurts you to your core. And I get it. It's hard to think of a God that you've been taught, you've been indoctrinated into, to think of him not being all good. And this is clearly a violation of your sense of morality of what an all good God would do and how he would be and how his reactions would be. And the fact that he didn't react that way, you have to find a way. But the fact that your mechanism was to say that Jephthah was punished, and yet the very next chapter, it talks about him still winning battles, defeating other people, and then going on to reign as king for the rest of his days. There is no punishment for Jephthah because your God is culpable. And I know that's hard for you to hear, but it's the truth. And I always say the truth will set you free. But will your indoctrination cause you to respond to this with some other proof that you've never read your book? And we had a similar situation like that earlier today on our live, where a young lady, she obviously believed that slavery was wrong. She believes that slavery is wrong, which is a good moral thing to do. But she believed that God never, ever endorsed slavery. And once we read Leviticus 25, 44 through 49, she had to accept it. But instead, she should have accepted it, but instead she jumped off. But she still tried to obfuscate into the idea that it's a separation between spiritual and physical and flesh and all this stuff and original sin. Y'all will make up some excuses to not accept the truth. And that's what is so scary about the mentality of those who believe in this book. But y'all have a great day. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.